Good day, everybody. I wanted to talk about U.S. National debt today. You know that recently our debt surpassed $40 trillion. Uh, there are many numbers. There are quite a few important numbers to look at. Uh, However, what I want to do in this video is to see if I can get a practical picture of where we are going to be in few years, and let's say by 2035, 8 years from now, 10 years from now, and what's the path that we're going to get there most likely. What are the policies that we're going to come up with? Okay, and see if we can prepare ourselves for that. Now, right now our debt is 40 trillion. Our GDP is about $32 trillion. Debt to GDP ratio is about 125%. Uh, I show I show you the math for where this goes by 2035, and why is that economists think something has to break before we even get there. Uh, so uh, the first thing I did, I looked at the numbers for last 20 years. If you look at the last 20 years, look at the debt growth over the last 20 years, you will see that we annually grew debt by 8%. Uh, you know, if we keep the same rate, if if that doesn't increase, all right, if let's say optimistically we keep the same rate, same average of 8%, then by 2035 we are looking at $79.4 trillion. So let's say $79 trillion by 2035. Now if you look at our GDP growth over the same 20 years, last 20 years, we look at the average GDP growth, you will get about 4.6%. If we keep the same rate for from now until 2035, at 2035 we are looking at about $48 trillion. Okay, $48 trillion. uh, our debt to GDP ratio at that point is going to become close to 175%. The problem here clearly is the gap between the debt growth rate, which is 8%, and GDP growth rate, which is more like 4.5%. We have about 3.5% to 4% gap between the rate of growth for debt and our GDP. Now, uh, this again, as I said, will take us to about 160%, 170% debt to GDP ratio by 2035. I'm going to tell you why I think that will not happen and what I think will happen before that. Now, uh, if you go over our tax revenues, all right, uh, the tax revenues historically runs about 18% of GDP. Uh, on the $48 trillion that uh, is our expected GDP on at 2035, on 24 on 28 trillion dollars that we are going to have, we're going to be collecting about $8.5 trillion of tax. Uh, Now, the interest on that $79 trillion of debt that I'm projecting for 2035 is going to be $3.18 trillion, so almost $3.2 trillion. So again, $3.2 trillion interest on debt, and about $8.5 trillion of tax revenue. So our interest on debt is going to be more than one third of our tax revenue. So more than one third of our tax revenue is going to go towards paying the interest, or which is according to economists impossible. According to economists, you just can't get there. Now, economists, they say that if you're at 15% interest to tax ratio, this is a warning sign. Right now, we are at 14%.